So a few years ago, two of my grandparents passed away really close to each other, and it was really hard. It was a really hard time for me and for my family. And the Bible actually refers to these dark times in our life, these really sad times in our life, as the word lament. Lament is a passionate expression of sadness or grief. So when two of my grandparents died really close to each other, my family was in a period of lament, of a passionate expression of sadness and grief. Lament means to face our sadness instead of ignoring it. It means feeling our sadness instead of numbing it. And it means working through our sadness instead of just getting over it. You ever have somebody tell you, well, just get over it? Like, that doesn't work. It just doesn't, right? Like, we were in a period of lament. It was difficult. It was really hard. It was really sad. We all have those periods in our life. We all have some dark periods of lament, of deep sadness for whatever reason. It's just something we all experience. Today, we want to talk about the fact that we can worship God in the midst of that. In fact, it is really good for us to worship God while we're in a stage of lament, while we are very sad. Our big idea today is that we can worship when it is difficult. At both of my grandparents' memorial services, we actually had a time of worship. Not just music that normally gets played at a memorial service, but real worship. And it was powerful, and it was beautiful, and it was healing, and it was difficult. When we worship in the midst of our lament, a couple things happen. Number one, lament makes our worship honest. It is really hard to worship when you are in a period of lament, when you are really sad. Being really sad doesn't make me want to say, yay, woo, God. So if you get to a point where you can worship, your worship is going to be very honest. It's not something you're going to be able to fake. Number two, lament makes our worship deeper. Acknowledging your sadness does not make your faith shallow. In fact, it's the opposite. It makes your faith deeper. I don't understand why some Christians think you have to be happy all the time. Like, that's not anywhere in the Bible. Like, they just don't understand. Like, there are so many people in the Bible that experience sadness and lament, and their faith grows deeper as they worship through it. Number three, lament makes us see hope that we can't see yet. As we worshiped at my grandparents' memorial services, it reminded us of the hope we have in God. The hope that God is with us, the hope that God loves us, the hope that God is going to comfort us, the hope that God is something more for us, and the hope that my grandparents are in a way better place right now because they loved and followed Jesus. Our hope is that God can be trusted, and worshiping in a period of lament helps us cling to that. So remember, sometimes life stinks, sometimes life is hard, sometimes life is really sad. We can worship even when it is difficult.